good morning. Good morning. It's Kathy and Kitty Explain Pop Culture Friday as we do 6 at 6, popping at you 6 pop culture facts. I can't hear
TGIF,
you.
TGIF,
Okay, there you go.
TGIF, TGIF, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. And here we are in our 6 at 6 on a Friday morning. And this morning, we are going to talk about the friend groups, the TV friend groups that you would want to hang out with, the six top 10 friend groups that you would want to hang out with.
And,
What?
and this, I'm sorry, before you start the list, this list is so 90s heavy. Do you realize that?
I realize
Because
it is not heavy.
I see one group of friends I wanted to hang out with that is not on the list. So I will use them before we get to number one in the honorable mention spot.
Okay. All right, that's cool. That's cool.
It's a very, um, yeah, it's a very 90s. I think all these shows, yeah, hit their peaks in the 90s.
No, not
Maybe
really.
number 6, maybe not, and maybe number 3 was a little later, but still. But
No,
let's get to them.
number 3 and number 4 are not 90s.
Number 3. Oh, that's true. Yeah, 3 and 4 are not
So
90s, but
number
mhm.
6, that 70s show, the gang from that 70s show, a group of friends that usually hang out in the basement of one friend's place. I never watched this show too much, really, but I know
I
it's a
caught
group of friends.
bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, I have too.
And as a lot of people know, a lot of folks emerge from that 70s show, including, to go on to greater success or more success. Uh,
Ashton Kutcher,
Most
Top Race,
famously, Ashton Kutcher,
Kushner, yeah.
who could have been on yesterday's show because he's a real life twin. He has a twin brother. But I
Yes, he
think
does. He does.
even more well known on that show is that he and Mila Kunis, played girlfriend and boyfriend, and as fate would have it, they eventually became husband and wife. After I guess marrying other people and doing some other things, their roads wound up crossing together. It was so funny because they both did movies. They said, or at least she said in an interview, they both did movies about like kind of friends with benefit situations, like people who were like, "Oh, we're just friends, but we're gonna have sex." She did a movie with Justin Timberlake, that same theme. He did a movie, I think, with Natalie Portman with that same kind
Yes,
of,
he
"Oh, we're
did.
just gonna be friends, but we'll have sex, just so you know." But and that's what they actually did before they became, a couple and actually got married.
Yeah.
I just
And it never works out. It never works out. That always ends up bad. Number 5.
but it's working out for
Number
them.
It's working out for them now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it can either crash and burn or be successful. Number 5, living single.
We are lit.
Queen Latifah,
I'm
Kim
sorry,
Fields.
it's just something about that, show. That theme song was actually bumping. I don't think people give it enough credit. Everybody always does the
Yeah, it
Fresh
was.
Prince of
It was.
Bel-Air
Yeah.
theme song and, other theme songs, but, that that's a bumping theme song. Queen Latifah, she's on the money.
Yeah.
But
Baby,
Living Single,
baby.
which again, a lot of people, and we'll get to it when we get to number 1, but it was actually, again, from the 90s, one of the original, like, kinda group of friends living together, although I think it still followed, what I call the female formula, and I will talk about that in a minute, but go ahead, because we only have 6 minutes. Next.
I think I know what you're gonna say. Okay. All right. Next
Okay.
is the Big Bang Theory, the group of friends from the Big Bang Theory, based around Big Bang Theory, based around a bunch of nerds hanging out, and then they get and 3 of them get girlfriends, and that friend group there that of these 3 friends that do a lot of things together. And I've been binging Big Bang Theory lately, and
Okay.
it
See,
gets my
I guess it
very
didn't suck
going.
me in, because I watched a couple of episodes when it first came on, and I don't know, I guess I didn't like the archetypes and, like I don't know, so there's something about it that didn't suck me in. So what's drawing you in? Should I give it a second chance?
There's no, I don't know if you want to give it a second chance. I mean, I would
Mhm.
give it a second chance. I never watched it before, and I always thought that it was very. As a nerd myself, I always thought it was very like stereotypical, and some of the
Okay.
references were very surface
Right.
things. Like we all know Bruce Wayne, Batman, like they would joke around things like that. But I find that Sheldon's a very popular character, but I don't know how this character has friends.
Well, and again, the one thing I do like about him, about the character, is just having, like, again, I say even for people of different racial backgrounds, people of different experiences, um, when we talk about diversity, we can't forget that. And I think a lot of times there are groups, especially groups with people perceived to have disabilities like autism and things like that, and they're perceived as different. And part of that is because we don't see enough representations of them in television, in movies. So to that end, yeah, before we say, "Oh, how could he have friends?" Because he is so blunt and curt, we got to know where it comes from, and that is part of what some people on the spectrum experience. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and to that degree, I'm going to say, okay, yes, it's good to see. Just like Corky from oh, what was that show? Something Life. Um, it was something Life. I forgot the name of the show, but just having an actor with disabilities play a person with disabilities, I thought was really breakthrough, and you need more of that. But okay, we're over 6 minutes, so let's move on to the next one, which I knew
Number
this was going to be
three,
in there 'cause you like this group
number
so
three is
much.
one of my favorites. Is number three, How I Met Your
Yeah,
Mother.
I think you want to hang out with them. That's why you put them on the list.
I do want to hang out with How I Met Your Mother gang, the gang from How I
Yeah,
Met Your
that
Mother.
that gang,
I
I
think
think I could see me, uh, yeah, hanging in a bar with them and just yeah, that's a good friend group. All right, next.
yeah, having drinks and everything. Next is Martin.
And and again, that was another show too where I watched a couple of episodes. It didn't pull me in. It didn't suck me in. I couldn't quote you episodes like I could for Living Single or even How I Met Your Mother. So I'm half and half on your list today. My
Yeah,
end.
there's certain scenes in Martin
Except
that
when it got
really,
to the end, it got
yeah.
kind of sad because there were some episodes I was like, "Why is this man on tape?"
But Martin,
When he, yeah, because he was evidently on some
yeah.
sort of let's just say substance, and it did not. It hurt my heart to watch that, but
Did you
I'm
see the
glad he's
reunion
kind of
show?
got. Huh? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't see the
You see the
reunion
reunion
show.
show?
No, but I did
Yeah,
see
I
the
saw the
reunion
reunion show.
show
It's pretty decent.
of
Pretty decent.
our number one hit, and we're doing
But
six
before we
at
get to number
six.
one, what was your honorable mention?
Oh, my honorable mention, and again, when you talk living single and you talk good theme songs, it's the facts of life. Because when I was coming
I
of age,
knew it.
I thought
I knew it. I knew it.
I thought, how cool would it be to be friends with Tootie, Natalie, Blair, and Joe? And you know what? I can blurt out their names because it's like they were my friends. Tootie, Natalie, Blair, and Joe. And I just wanted to hang out with them. And probably just the four of them, not when it was like 7 or 8 girls, because that it was just too many. That's too much drama. But
And see,
yeah.
here's
Girls
here's
are
the
the
thing
Facts of
about
Life,
all of
and the Facts of Life follow what I call the 4 female formula, which is when you have a show with 4 females, you have the different types, you have the sex pot, you have the dimwit, you have, like, the brains, eh, designing women, Facts of Life, Living Single, Golden Girl, like, that formula has been used over and over again. We could do a
the
whole
true that, true
episode
that.
on that
But
formula.
the reason I didn't use any of those formulas because the one thing about all these friend groups is they have men and women and are kind of diverse. So
Well, and
that's
again,
like
that's I thought about that. I was like, because even with Living Single, even though it does have the 4 female, characters, the sex pot, the dimwit, the mastermind, it also has the guys in there, so it gives it a nice
yeah.
mix. Speaking of 6 at 6, this group of 6 friends is probably the most popular friend group of all time.
Yes,
A
yes.
little show called Friends. You know what's funny? I remember I'm that many years old. I remember before the show came on, one of the promos, like a lot of times you don't remember like the promos that kind of advertise the shows, especially the ones that become hits, because a lot of times it'll be a sleeper. But I remember them having an ad of them like in bed or naked or something like that, and they were kind of like covered up. And then at one point they were like, "But that's not what the show's about." And it was just kind of funny that I remember one of the early Friends promos, and I'm
Oh,
sure you can
yeah.
go on YouTube and Google it. But Friends just became a phenomenon. I had a friend post on Facebook whether or not um, a doormat, welcome mat she was about to buy, and it said, depending on where you stand, it said, were they really on a break? Over here, yes. Over here, no. And again, just quoting a famous episode of Friends. And I kind of agree with Ross. Yes, they were on a break. So,
Yeah, they want a break.
yeah,
Rachel,
clear.
you can't have it any way you want to have it. You can't have it your way all the time.
You
You
can't
know,
have
you
it.
guys want a break.
Yeah. I
Even
thought
Ben
Rachel was
said
being a bit much, but okay.
even Ben said that but you were on a break. Okay. Remember that
Yeah.
episode? Ben's like,
So
sure.
we are way over the 6 minutes, but that's because this was
Yeah.
a good topic. We probably should have did it as a Saturday show. Speaking of which, we are live every Saturday night. We have been for well over 2 years, pretty consistently. I'm sorry, 3 years, right? We
Yeah.
started this in 2020. 3
Mm-hmm.
years. Kathy and Ken explain pop culture live every Saturday night at 8:30. We can also be heard Tuesdays on Indie 101.5. That's the kind of podcast audio version of our show. We want to thank you for hanging out with us. If you're catching us on the replay, that's cool. Just drop a thumbs up, leave a like, sign up for our YouTube channel, Kathy Can Explain Pop Culture. We will see you tomorrow night, 8:30. Kathy and Kenny explain
Peace. Peace.
culture. I'm sorry, I turned off the
God bless you, soul.
gadget.
Keep living. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, peace.
I keep forgetting to end the
You keep- I
stream.